Hello guys, welcome back once again. This time I wanted to start a new Venus in the Sign series, especially because I know I have been doing a lot of boy groups interpretations of their Venus, so we can dive in a little bit in their placements and not always rely on tarot to know a little bit about maybe what they find attractive or maybe what they're looking for in a relationship. I mean, these are interpretations, astrological and zodiacal interpretations. So of course that it can vary from person to person. It depends on the placements. So I wanted to start with Stray Kids members because a lot of people had been requesting me to do it. So I found that maybe the easier way is to do the same format as I did for ITs, that I divided them in groups of four. So I have a reasonable amount of time to like to um talk about how I interpreted it and talk about their energy, and also to give it a bit of examples. And so if it's going to be a long one, so if you want to go get a drink, get a coffee, get a couple a glass of wine, a glass of beer, just be free to do it. So as you can see in the images, I had placed the members that I will be talking about today. I had gathered them, the four of them. I had selected them because I found in their energies a bit of similarities when it comes to maybe their Venus is in the same sign, or maybe it's in an element that it's a bit similar. So I divided them into groups of four members. Which is very suitable because they are eight, so I think I'm not leaving anyone behind. So I wanted to start with the leader. With the leader is Bangchan. He is a Libra. He has a lot of placements in Libra. He is a Sun in Libra, a Moon in Libra, and a Mercury. So even though there are people that say that he could have potentially a Moon in Scorpio, I don't know. I see that there's this possibility, but he's so shielded by this Libra energy that I cannot see it. I know he's a good leader. I know he is very good in that role, but at the same time, Libra is a cardinal sign that also is about leadership. So I wouldn't be able to see a Scorpio energy in him. I don't think he has a moon in Scorpio. I think he is. I don't know why. I sense that he is like in most interpretation he is like a lot of Libra because he is very concealing and he tries to make everyone happy and he worries about others and he wants to everyone to feel included and he's always looking out for others. So I think that he is very in tune with his Libra energy. But he has a Scorpio Venus. He has a Venus in Scorpio. So I'm going to talk about him, and I'm going to mark the difference because then we have Minho or Lino, that he also has a Venus in Scorpio, but his placement is different. So Let's start with Banchan. Banchan, it's we had talked about his Libra energy, so obviously he's someone that is really comfortable with communicating with others, especially with the opposite sex. It's like he doesn't have an issue when it comes to connecting with others, or to be expressive when it comes to romance, or when it comes to um, feeling in the mood of love. It's like he also is very blessed, as you can see visually. He is very blessed in the sense that he has a lot of like sex appeal, and a lot of people find him attractive because, well, he's a Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. So he is the embodiment of what's attractive, of what's beautiful, or of it's like almost everything about him, it's in harmony. So he is the type of person that could potentially be really lucky when it comes to relationships. Actually, not relationships, just conquering others, in the sense that if he is interested in someone, there's a high chance that that person will also be interested in him. It's like he will find reciprocity in the other end. He is like, I don't think he will ever suffer from being friend zone, or being being like non-required love or stuff like that. I don't think, I think that we all go through periods of where we struggle in love, of course. But I see him with all this Venus energy inside of him, with all this Libra energy, of him being really a good, very skillful when it comes to ladies, when it comes to getting the one he wants attention. He is someone that he knows how to use his charms. He's pretty aware that he is charming, and that he has what it takes. It's like he has this adaptability. It's like he can become in everything that the other part desires. So let's talk a little bit about his Scorpio Venus. Um, so this is when things get a bit interesting in his life, because when we think about Libra, Libra is very known for being a people pleaser, and for also being someone that likes to have this kind of harmony in relationships, where everything is beautiful, where everything is perfect, where everything is like a fairy tale. And there he comes, the Venus in Scorpio, to be like, hell nah. Like, nah, like, we are bringing intensity in your bonds. Either you want to accept it in yourself, or we're going to bring someone in your life that is going to be the embodiment of this deepness, of this intensity, of this magnetism, of this obsessive nature, of this need to possess you. So I think he will be more likely to find himself being in a relationship with someone with these characteristics, probably someone that is a Scorpio sun, also a Scorpio sun, or moon, or rising. um, because I have a feeling that since he is a Libra, there's a lot of this diplomacy, and there's a lot of nice and aesthetic words that he tries to. It's like he always wants to look the best when it comes to relationships. For example, if he displays some kind of this Scorpio Venus, for example, Scorpio Venus traits tend to be that they are a bit, sometimes they are jealous, sometimes they are possessive, sometimes they are pretty demanding when there comes to wanting their partner to be committed and to be loyal to them, and they want to know a lot of about where the partner at, and they are like very like obsessive when it comes to their partner. So probably he doesn't want to admit him having all this Libra peacemaker kind of facade. he wouldn't like to admit that actually when it comes to relationship he can be a bit jealous and he can be a bit like distrustful. So maybe he will somehow he will attract someone that embodies those traits, so he can blame the other person, like to be like, oh yes, she's so jealous of me, she's so possessive of me. I don't know why I attract this kind of person in my life, because I'm not jealous at all, or I'm not possessive at all. So I don't know why this kind of person keeps I keep getting involved with this kind of person. So it's like, because there's something about his need to be always in balance and to be always the nice guy or the romantic, the considerate guy, that it would be really hard for him to be like, oh yes, sometimes I can be a bit manipulative, or sometimes I can get jealous, sometimes I have this very selfish side of me where I get too clingy, or maybe I get too obsessed and I want to know what my partner is doing and where she's at and who she's hanging out with, and if there are some males around her. It's this possessive side of him that sometimes it's like this aspect is like this kind of a stain in a white shirt, it's like this awful black stain in his perfect black in his perfect white suit. So it's like he wants to get rid of it, he wants to get rid of that aspect of himself. But actually he can be, once he allows himself to become really close and intimate with someone, he will start to experience, it's like this Venus in Scorpio will start to activate inside of him and will start to show its characteristics. He's not going to show it with everyone he gets involved, because we have to take into consideration that he is a Libra, so probably he will have a lot of female friends, quote unquote friends. So probably he likes or he has a lot of friends. He has a lot of experiences when it comes to love or romance, but actually I'm talking about here from with someone that he will genuinely feel this need to get to know her better, to be with her, to have an stability with her, that he would really be interested in her, in developing feelings for this person. Once he starts to develop feelings for this person, he will start to feel this Venus in Scorpio traits. So how does a Scorpio Venus work? Actually, they become pretty intense. They long for commitment in a relationship, so that's why I say that this intensity comes from, because they actually want and crave this kind of intimacy and this kind of profound bond, this soul bound. So they are some kind of like all or nothing. They crave this intimacy, and they just love in a very deeply way, and also the good side is that they give their partner their full attention. And but this, when I'm talking about their full attention, I'm also talking about that he can have like this need to control the partner and the relationship, to be like, oh yes, I know what's best for you. So because he's so focused on the one he wants, or the one he loves, that sometimes he just goes too much into detail, because he's like, he wants to dive really deep into the person's life, so they want to know everything, their details, everything. And actually they are very jealous of their own, so probably they go on this detective mode where they want to know everything about their potential partner, but at the same time they don't give anything away from them. So it's really unfair and it's really frustrating let me tell you, to be on the other side and to be like, oh yes, you just asked me um, a full quiz of 125 questions, and somehow you don't want to give me any answer of yours, like no. Like no, if you want to investigate my past, you be sure to let me know yours too, please. Let's keep it fair. So they can easily, like I said, they can easily be jealous or get jealous, and they tend to be a little bit manipulative. It's not like they confess right away, or they're like, oh yes, I am that way. It's like it's not easy for them to admit that they tend to be a bit invasive sometimes, or that they tend to drag things into a very like tense state, because they get really obsessed sometimes with things, and what they like in someone besides the looks and everything, they just appreciate someone that is loyal and is as loyal and committed as they are, and probably someone that can also let them have some bit of control in the relationship. I think that it's not that they are control freaks, it's actually that they would feel really comfortable if you would let them at least experience a bit of that control, in the sense, even if it's fake, just to let them know that somehow you understand why they need it. And like I always say whenever I talk about Scorpio placements, it talks about their fear of rejection and their fear of abandonment. In them, there's this fear is really deep, and it's out of control. It's like you cannot control it, and you cannot be like, oh yes, today I woke up and I suddenly felt this profound feeling of fear of abandonment. No, actually, and also to not be so generic, a lot of people can suffer from fear of abandonment. It's not necessary for you to be a Scorpio Venus or to be a Scorpio to face these kind of fears, but we're talking about astrology here, so I'm talking about this aspect. So let's move on to Minho. Minho, it's for him, it's much easier to be a Venus in a Scorpio. Actually, he owns it really well because he is a Scorpio. So, and he also is a Mercury in a Scorpio. So he has a lot of placements in Scorpio. So it's very natural for him to be intense, and for him to be for him to show this side of himself, to be like almost to wear it like a medal, you know, like yes, like I conquered this. Yes, I like intensity. I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy drama. I enjoy strong emotions. I enjoy having the controlling relationship. So he obviously uses this Scorpio Venus in a different way, because he's really comfortable in this energy of being mysterious, of knowing that he has the power in the relationship, because somehow he knows, he just have like he has a distinctive taste about. I'm not saying that the ones that he chooses are probably his victims, are victims, but it's like he knows that since he has this need of control, and he has this jealousy and this obsessive nature, and he's really aware of it, he would probably want to find someone that can somehow be a bit submissive, or a bit like that can surrender to his desires and not fight back, because it's the way he likes relationships. It's the way he finds it attractive, you know, to feel like you are not fighting him back, in the sense that you are as sensitive as he is, and at the same time you let him and his love for you to consume you. You know that you are not afraid of him, that you are not afraid of his magnetism, of how strong he can feel for you, because he has a tendency of feeling a lot of emotions, because the Scorpio Venus tend to be really intense, and they tend to get this kind of strong feelings in a short period of time. It's like they know, because they are so instinct, and they also do a lot of research about who you are. They probably know a little bit more about you than you know yourself, because they are so, whenever they are interested in someone, they do all the detective work. They know things and they know who to ask. So if they are interested in someone, they are going to do the background check. They're going to find out everything about you before, just in case, just to have information. It's the best for them, not to be caught off guard. So in the case of Lino, I think he's really comfortable. He can go through periods where he will struggle when it comes to maybe being able to maintain like a stable relationship or a stable connection with someone, because of this intensity. And also because, let's not forget that his moon is in Sagittarius, and like I had talked in his in a reading that I did for him, when you are moon in Sagittarius, sometimes you are very you are very open-minded. You want to explore the world, you want to explore you're very spontaneous, you're very playful, you want to have fun. So you are not actually someone that is really interested in long-term things. And this includes relationships. So probably for him it's going to take a while to connect with this Venus in Scorpio, with this Scorpio Venus. I mean, he will connect with it in a sense that he will take this energy to exude a kind of magnetism, and to exude a kind of confidence, and exude a kind of seductiveness, so he can conquer someone that he wants to be with. But he will not use it to build a long-term relationship. He will use this charm, this mysterious side of him, and this sexual side of him, and this passionate side of him. He will use it to conquer someone, like to attract someone, like a snake, like being like, oh yes, I want to guide you to me, come to me, like I want to hypnotize you, I want you to be mine. But at the same time, he is like, his emotional world is not very profound. At least he has to do a lot of inner work in himself, and also a lot of maturing in his own experiences in life, to be able to be like, oh yes, I want to have a meaningful relationship, or I want to have I want to achieve a long-term successful relationship with someone. So probably, yeah, and that also has to do with the fact that he is very popular also with the ladies. He's not the one that will display all his charm at once. Actually, he's the kind of awkward, funny guy, that he will try to maybe approach you in a very friendly way, trying to become your friend, and maybe to act like he's not interested in you. And then between jokes, to be the funny guy, or to be like the clown, he will try to make you laugh, he will try to make you smile, and suddenly he will become closer and closer to you, and until you you fall in his charms, and because he loves to conquer. Actually, his Scorpio energy loves to conquer. He loves to see someone fall for him. He just finds a thrill adrenaline rush in this experience. But then after he accomplished this conquer, it's like he's like, well, okay, now what do I do with you? Do I have to feed you? Do I have to carry you somewhere? What do you want? What do I want? I don't know. I want to get away, because his Sagittarius moon is going to be really present also, in the sense that sometimes moon is Sagittarius male, they tend to want to like is they want to like have fun with you and probably like spend, yes, one day or two and have like an adventure with you, like going different places and having fun and laugh and everything. um, and this could include good sex also, but at the same time they are not really good at planning ahead, so they are not really good at planning a long-term relationship. That's what I mean. He will conquer someone and then he will be like, oh yes, I want to get away from here because I'm not really comfortable with this. I think I think I want to be elsewhere. And it's like, that's why I think that he may have these moments of misunderstanding with female, like being like, uh, because they are like, oh well, you were really interested in me last night, or you were really interested in me, you showed me a lot of attention, you showed me a lot of intensity, so I thought that you really liked me. And actually, yes, he did. He displayed all his cards. He was generous. He was funny. He was attractive. He was magnetism. He was seductive. But at the same time, it's all the process of conquering. Because when you have a fire moon, we think about emotions, they are like a small children in that sense. Their mindsets and the span of attention that they have is really limited. So it's like they may be really into you, like they may be really interested in conquering you, but it's like once they have you, it's like suddenly the adrenaline just is like gone. So it's like, I don't know, like I don't know what to do next, especially when you think about the moon in Sagittarius. They are so they are like the runaway, not the runaway bride, they are the runaway broom. uh, they choose they perform escapism when it comes to kinds of commitments. But at the same time, his Venus and also him being a Scorpio, he gives this um, he gives this energy or this perception to others that since he asks everyone to be committed and loyal to him, like you would think that he would reciprocate, actually, but actually not. Actually not. Actually, he is a bit like, yes, he demands attention. Yes, he demands for you to be committed to him, for you to be loyal to him, but at the same time, when it comes to his own of what he's delivering, he's like, oh yes, well, we have to see, and then he suddenly disappears. So he's an interesting character. um, so let's move on to Changbin. Changbin is a Venus in Virgo, and he has a Mars in Scorpio, so there's a bit of intensity. And also, let's not forget, he's a double Leo, so he's obviously the king of the castle here when we think about conquering someone. Also, a very successful male because he has a lot of presence, he has a lot of fire energy, he's really magnificent, he's really masculine, he's really attractive. There's something about him that is like you cannot take your eyes away from him. That's why Leo energy is ruled by the sun, because it's like somehow you're blinded um, by his traits. It's like everything he does is so magnificent, and it's like you are like, wow, you're so beautiful, or you are glowing. It's interesting. um, but Venus in Virgo. He has a Virgo Venus. So actually, Virgo placements are really hard for people in general, especially when we're thinking about a kind of planets that talk about how we communicate to others or how we communicate our emotional needs, or some planets that talk about our connection with others. So when you think about a Virgo Venus, actually, they are not very keen of showing emotions. Actually, and actually, also they don't like someone that is too emotional. Someone that is really like demanding emotionally. They get really like uncomfortable with that energy. um, because actually what they can offer with this energy to a relationship or to a potential partner is that they're always willing to work and dedicate themselves to a relationship. They are just because Virgo, they find joy in serving others. They are an energy that they really want to assist others. They want to help others. They are willing to serve others. They sometimes are willing to do a lot of work, a lot of chores, a lot of activities in the service of others that maybe some people are really not willing to do, but they are really happy to do it. And that's their love language. That's the way they show that they care, because they are not really good at expressing, maybe with words or maybe with PDA or stuff like that. They are not really good at expressing physically how they feel about their partner, and this actually doesn't mean that they do not feel. It's just that they express it in a different way. They express it by doing something meaningful and helpful for you. They are pretty sensitive inside, but they tend to be a bit insecure, and in that aspect, in this aspect of Venus, in the aspect of reaching out to other, in the aspect of reaching out to other and connecting with others when it comes to a romance, when it comes to romance, when it comes to romantic relationships. I'm not talking about different aspects, because of course we have to take into consideration that he is a Leo, so he would probably, this Leo energy would also influence him somehow to be a little bit more bold and to be a little bit more brave and open about how he feels and about what he wants. So maybe with his potential partner, he can be a bit open, a bit passionate, he can be more expressive. But when we think about like building a relationship, a romantic relationship with someone, this is where this Venus in Virgo activates. So in the case of him, he can turn into a bit of a loner, or he may struggle a bit to find the right partner for him, because he does have his expectations of what a suitable partner for him would be. And also he would be someone that probably he wouldn't be the first one to make a move, so he would need someone to make the move for him, because it's not that he doesn't desire to do it, it's just that somehow when he feels attracted romantically to someone, he becomes this, he embodies this energy. This energy starts to come out, this Virgo energy in him starts to take over his actions, his posture, his willingness. So maybe for example, when it comes to be on the spotlight, when it comes to be with his friends, when it comes to be with his fans, he can be really open, he can be really funny, he can be really loud. But when it comes to someone that he's really interested in a romantical way, this Virgo aspect comes out. So the good thing is that one of the many characteristics is that they are great listeners, and they analyze a lot their partner. So they are really good at knowing maybe if their partner are going through a rough time. He's really good at noticing that, or noticing what his partner needs. Especially when we think about like um, rational things, not and maybe not in an emotional, because he's a bit shy in that sense. But when we think about what his partner would need in a rational way, you know, like what can I do for you? I don't know, can I buy you a certain meal? Do you want me to buy you a book? Do you want me to do groceries for you? Do you want me to, I don't know, to do laundry? They are just this, when it comes to practical chores, they are really good. And they are really willing to do it, and they do not complain at all because they love to help. But the bad thing that happens with this is that sometimes people do not see these gestures, and they tend to think that since these are routinary things, that they are not romantic. And actually, with these gestures, they are trying to let you know that this is a form of romance, of being romantic in their language. So the partner needs to be really aware of that this is how they communicate, because he will try to be helpful, even though sometimes this can be mistaken, or sometimes he can come off as critical, you know, because I always say that Virgo energy is pretty critical, and they, but he will need to be appreciated for these little things or gestures that he will do, um, and also something about um, approaching relationships or starting relationships. He will probably will not be really eager to jump into relationships easily, because it will take him a while to be like, oh yes, I want to be with this person, because they are such a perfectionist that he would probably be analyzing and over analyzing their situation and this person, and they would be like contemplating and thinking a lot. So I know uh, it's not a comfortable energy. That's why I always uh, try to speak about this Virgo Venus, Virgo Mars, Moon in Virgo. I always try to talk about this energy because it's so uncomfortable sometimes. I feel the awkwardness in myself every time I try to describe it. So that's why I always give these details so you can understand a bit and can get a bit in contact with what it means to own this energy. That it's not that this person doesn't have feelings, it's not that they are just cold and they don't care and they are detached. No, actually they struggle a lot. They are really nervous, they are really nervous nature, they are really awkward socially. So sometimes for them relationships is really hard to be like, oh yes, I think I got this aspect of my life. Actually they need a lot of help to be able to open up, and also to be able to sometimes take the courage to be like, oh yes, I want to be with this person. And sometimes making a decision is hard for them, because they are not overly romantic, and actually they are not, despite they take a lot of time like thinking about whether they want to be with that person or not. they're actually very easy to please when it comes to choosing a partner. It's like they don't ask much about their partner or about their partner's role in their life. It's like they just want someone they can share their life with and somehow having like a comfortable routine with, someone that they can share chores with, like because they do not want not drama, not any complicated kind of like manipulative maybe we were talking about Venus in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio is always about intensity. It's always about having this passionate and sometimes possessive kind of bonds and relationships. But when we think about a Virgo Venus, they just want to be okay. They don't want they do not request anything. They just want to be not disturbed. They do not want to be disturbed. Um, because yes, they are not. They don't play mind games. They are not really good at like manipulating the situation or keeping the suspense. They are really like simple when it comes to things, and they dislike the superficial. Someone um, that is a poser. They don't like it. They just want someone simple. They're not very flirtatious, but they have this kind of weird appeal um, that lies in their dedication. They are so dedicated. They are so willing to put the work in the relationship. So this is why, especially from, I don't know, I see it as a very attractive feature because I am an earth sign. I'm a Capricorn. So for me, Virgo energy or Taurus energy that is all about building stability is highly attractive. But maybe for someone that it's, I don't know, other kind of element, they may find this boring. So he needs someone maybe with a bit of earth sign kind of. So he would be like, he would feel like this compatibility, um, because they are really hardworking and they make the relationship work in their reality, no, they don't promise you the biggest fantasy and they and like because sometimes when you're too romantic you tend to idealize too much the other person, but in the sense of a Venus in Virgo, they are all about reality. They are all about making it work in the reality. Keeping ourselves grounded, um, and keeping ourselves being respectful to each other, not hurting each other. Just keeping each other happy and stable. So let's move on to I call him I.N because I think that his stage name it's I.N. I don't know if it's is it in or I.N. because I try to hear like whenever someone call him, but I don't think they call him with this diminutive. I think he's Jeongin. He's Jeongin. It's the fourth of in the picture. He's an Aquarius. I did my research on him, and his Venus is in Aries, and his Mars is in Scorpio. So that's why I chose him because out of all the others that have like this scorpionic also energy, he is the one that also has a Venus in Aries that is really strong, and that maybe the other four that I left them for the less for the part two of this interpretation because they have a lot of similarities that I find them, and we will see in part two that they have their Venus in a sign that is very suitable for that energy. So, and they are like, I think that these four that I picked now probably are the more complex and are the ones that have a bit stronger energy when it comes to Venus, and maybe different energy that maybe Venus, that is all about romance and glamour, and being in these signs that I just mentioned, and that I have been talking about here, are not really comfortable, and they sometimes do not work pretty well. They do function because they have to, but they are in signs that are not very compatible, but they do work anyway. But they do have a lot of improvement to do in the sense of Jeongin. He has Venus in Aries, so we have to think that Aries is ruled by Mars. So if he's in the planet of love, of course he's going to be a bit restless in this energy, because Aries is a fire sign. Aries is all about competition, it's all about going to battle, it's all about being the best, it's all about going with your energy straightforward to your objective. So here in Venus, he has to learn to be Venusian, to disguise himself in his best clothes, to conquer someone. And sometimes when you are a Venus in Aries, for you to conquer someone is to hunt someone down, like with a gun in your hand, or with an arrow. I don't know, something really aggressive, something really dramatic. They tend to be really funny when they want to. Because I had people with Venus in Aries trying to conquer me, and they tend to be, it's unbelievable the things they say and do, that is really like you cannot believe that they have the audacity to talk to you that way, because they are so blunt, they are so honest, and also they are so a bit intimidating also, but they're very honest. That's what one of the things that I can say about Venus in Aries. Of course, that Jeongin is an Aquarius, and his moon, I believe it's in Leo, so he has a lot of passion inside of himself, despite of you seeing him like this. I think he's the magnet of the group, or otherwise, if I'm wrong, please correct me. And he has this beautiful innocent smile, just like every Aquarian guy does, this kind of angel vibe. He's so ethereal, he looks like an angel, he's so beautiful, he's so aesthetically pleasing, he's perfect. But at the same time, when you have a Venus in Aries and we're talking about romance, that's when the fire starts to build up, the person that has a Venus in Aries is someone that is really distinctive, because it's like you can almost see him coming, because of, even you can spot him right away, because they have like this strong aura around themselves, especially if they want to conquer you. They tend to become really bold, and really like they want to make themselves seen. So if they are interested in you, they will let you know, and you will know that they are after you. They're really funny. Actually, I find them really funny because it's like they are just daredevils. They I don't know where they got this confidence. This inner fire to be like, yes, I'm going to go after that person because I like that person. I feel attracted to this person, and they just do it. They don't think about it. They don't think about how they're going to do it. They don't plan ahead. They just go. And sometimes it's really funny because most of the times they tend to get rejected because it's like they're too much. Um, but it's really lovely to see them trying. It's like they can get upset, of course, but it's like they move on really easily. For them, it's like a game. They're really funny in that sense. Um, and what they want in a relationship, actually, it's to have a relationship that can be stimulating and exciting. They just want someone exciting. because they tend to get bored really easily and they lose interest really quickly, so they move on, on to the next approach if you don't keep them interested, if you know what I mean. So you better have a lot of stamina. And so that's what I was saying with if they are rejected or somehow the other part is not interested, they are like, they don't hold grudges, they just move on to the next target. um they are really passionate, and they are the kind that very different from the Virgo, the Venus in Virgo. They do not mind PDA, and actually they do prefer to show their emotions through actions rather than words. They are really passionate and they are really all over the top in that sense. They are very big on big gestures. I wouldn't say that their style of their affection it's overly dovey. They are more on the passionate side. They can be a bit jealousy, a bit here and there, but just to be dramatic, just to add more fuel to the fire, something like that. Um, and also possessive. And actually, because they dislike being stifled romantically themselves, so they may come to you boldly, and they can appear a bit somehow like being really bossy, and but not too controlling. And as long as you show them that you're loyal, um, they're really funny. I find them so funny. They're also great partners. You can have a lot of fun with them. But they do love to flirt, and they are very upfront and direct. They're very daring. So don't get like that. That's why I always say with people that have Venus in Aries, and I have met people that have like other energies in their birth charts, and probably everyone is like, oh my god, like no, he or she wouldn't be like that. No, I don't think so. And it's like, just watching. I don't think you, I mean, or us, when because we are talking about him and Jeongin, um, it's a public figure, So I don't think we're going to have like like I hope not that we are not going to see a romantic or a situation, an intimate situation of him chasing someone or probably displaying these characteristics on a camera. So of course that we are not going to see this on full display, because obviously it's something that, like I said, it happens in intimacy. It happens when he finally meets someone in a romantically aspect where he feels like maybe that person, uh, he finds that person attractive, and he starts to feel this romantic nature and this romance and this need for romance. So of course that if we are only seeing his sun sign and his moon sign, there are always aspects in astrology that say a lot about, but this romance, this romantic side, I believe that it's something that is really intimate. So of course we are not going to see glimpse of this in an interview, or the way he speaks, or the way he talks, or the way he dances, because it's not something that is for the public to see. It's actually for the one he's interested in to see or to discover, not for the public eye. So they do try to win you over by expressing um, how interesting and independent they are. They talk really well about themselves. They love themselves a lot. And him probably being a moon in Leo, I believe that he has a lot of anecdotes about him being great. um, and the style that they express love, it's very me. It's very me. It's very Aries. It's very me center. Um, because they are like, oh yes, I think you're amazing. I saw you and thought you were the one for me. And like they are like always centering in themselves. Oh yes, you would be a good match for me. Oh, you should choose me because I am. They're so cute. They remind me so much because of this spontaneity that they carry. They remind me so much of children, of child, because it's like this almost this naivety, like, oh yes, I want to tell you how I feel, and I think you would be perfect for me, and they are like so eager to to conquer you that it's like they forget that maybe they have to wait for your consent, or that you have a saying in this interaction. It's not like, that's why Libra, it's the opposite of Aries, because Libra is always considering the other part, even more than themselves. They are so focused on pleasing others that sometimes they forget about themselves. And when we think about a Venus in Aries, they are so focused on what they want that they forget about the other part. So it's really funny. And yes, actually, I think that one of their many charms, and actually, what's attractive about them is this aura of innocent charm. Because even when they are acting like a bit childish and impatient, especially when they get really impatient when they sense that you are not being quick in your response to them, that when you are acting aloof, or when you are acting like you're not interested, or when you're playing hard to get, or when you're playing mysterious, or when you're like, oh, I don't know, they get really impatient, and they can get a bit um, like they can get childish in the sense that they could get like these 4-year-old kids, in kindergarten, where they usually pick on the girl they like, on the little girl that they like. Well, a Venus in Aries is like this. In order to get your attention, they would probably say like very uh, provocative, or trying to get your attention by getting you upset about something. They tend to have this kind of childish nature, and also really innocent, that yes, it's a bit charming. It's a bit. So I'm going to leave it, guys, here, because it's been a long hour, almost an hour that I've been talking. So I hope that you do enjoy of this part one of Stray Kids Venus Signs series. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for being here, for watching. Bye.